Hi there. Thank you very much for tuning into my channel. My name is Ariel and I go by Ari, R-E-D. And you are tuning into the second video in my planet series. I'm going over the planets in our solar system, and this is Venus. If you haven't already, you'll want to definitely make sure you check out my first video that goes over Mercury, the first planet from the sun, the first planet in our solar system. In that video, I also briefly explained my mission on doing this series. The reason I want to do this series is because I want to shed light on the other planets in our solar system, the energies and influences that they give us as we see and feel them upon Earth. We all are very, very familiar with our sun signs. You know, we go around boasting and bragging about those, and rightfully so, because it partially represents the ego. But you have so much more a part of you. You are so much more than your sun sign. And again, I'm hoping to go over just this basic information of just the influences of what these planets mean. And at the end of the video, at the end of the series, excuse me, you'll actually want to stay tuned because I will be making an announcement. And I will be having a contest. So you'll want to make sure you pay attention to each video. Take notes, ask questions in the comments. I'll link my social sites, Facebook and Instagram below. That way you can send me instant messages there if you would like. I love talking about astrology. I love sharing the knowledge that I have, and as well as I would love to get any information that I can do because, again, this is an ongoing journey for me. I would love to know as much as I can. You never really truly stop learning. So feel free to check the description. And again, thanks for tuning in. Venus is the second planet from the sun, if you did not already know. And Venus is also known as Earth's sister planet. Now, the reason why it's known as Earth's sister planet is because it's very similar to Earth when it comes to the mass, the size, and the density, as well as the orbit. Venus's orbit almost makes a complete perfect circle. It's very close, not quite, but it almost makes a very perfect circle. Now, compared to the 88 days of Mercury and the 365 days / 66 to Earth, Venus only takes 225 days to do its complete orbit around the sun. Now, when it comes to astrology in terms of transits, and a transit is basically just the relation of the movements of planets, how we view them from Earth. So basically how each planet can angle each other and how those planets' energies will meet based upon that angle is what a transit is. So when it comes to Venus transits, the effects really aren't felt for much more than about a day because it does move fairly quickly. So it's nothing that will linger on for weeks when it comes to the transit and the energies. Now, up until the early 1960s, Venus was pretty much a mystery, mostly the surface, because it has this thick layer of clouds. And it's a thick layer. It's an impenetrable layer of clouds that's composed of sulfuric acid and carbon dioxide. Now, because of this layer of clouds and because it's so close to the sun, again, the second planet from the sun, because of this layer of clouds, that light from the sun hits Venus and it reflects off of the clouds, giving it this very, very bright appearance. This appearance makes Venus shine so bright that it's basically also known as the morning and the evening star. Way back in the earlier times, because it's so bright and was seen both in the morning and in the evening, it was almost thought of as basically two different stars because people were seeing it in the morning and then in the night and weren't associating them both with one. Now, when it comes to astrology, because Venus is so close to the sun, it really never never travels very far from it when it comes to the astrological signs, the zodiac. So when it comes to one's chart, Venus will either be in your sun sign or it will be in the sign preceding or following your sun sign. So for example, if you are a Cancer, sometimes that Venus will either fall in the sign of Cancer, or it could fall in the sign of Gemini, or it could fall in the sign of Leo. Gemini being before, Leo being afterwards. What is the influence of Venus? Some of you may already know. It's a very popular saying. Venus is the planet of love and of pleasure. It basically rules how you express your affection and how you enjoy beauty. Venus rules over love, beauty, art, decoration. All of those things are what makes life beautiful. If you want to think of Venus in terms of mythology, Venus was a beautiful goddess who was adorned by all. Wherever she walked, flowers bloomed because she was so beautiful, so compassionate. And she also had, however, a quote-unquote dark side. That also is associated with jealousy. You know, we all know that emotion sometimes when it comes to love. Very temperamental, very, very short to lose her temper. But nonetheless, she was very beautiful, very graceful, and again, she was very adorned by all. Now, when it comes to Venus's influences in your chart, what Venus is going to tell us, so again, each planet will give clues. Each planet, if you want to think of it in your chart as an actor, okay, that actor has genetic makeup of who they are, and then essentially they're going to play out a role. So what Venus is DNA is basically made out of is it's basically going to tell us how that person expresses their emotions, okay? It's going to tell how they express their emotions in personal relationships, of course, but not just the personal relationships, more so specifically in love and in marriage, of course. Venus is going to rule over your love affairs, your affection toward others, and how you express your emotions to others. Venus also governs your higher emotions. Those are those really main ones. More so specifically, it's going to have an influence over your happiness when it comes to the high vibrational side. And again, a low vibrational side is going to be jealousy. So Venus is also going to give your personality a very powerful and mysterious, as well as a very attractive and fascinating desirability. What kind of sex appeal do you have? That's what Venus gives you. Not only is it about beauty and happiness, joy and love, but it's going to give you that desirability. So where does Venus fall in your chart, and how does it influence how you're desired by others? Venus also gives us clues on how you can relate to the opposite sex. It also gives you the ability to love and to share with someone, more specifically your significant other, of course. Venus in its highest manifestation is love. That's what Venus mostly represents. It brings people together so easily, so effortlessly, without any force. It's just true and genuine. This is the reason why it's best to have your social gatherings, your parties when it's in a Venus transit, because Venus is also a social sign. It's going to basically help, again, bringing those people together, sharing common ground, and then just opening up to each other. That's what Venus's influence is going to do. Another thing that Venus can represent and show, depending on where it is in your chart, is going to tell your ability to how you make friends, whether it be easy or difficult for you, awkward, very straightforward. Are you going to be shy and timid? And also, it is in charge of fun. Again, because Venus is a social planet, it brings people together without force. It's basically the bond, if you want to think of it, as far as making friends. Are you very popular, or are you kind of really shy and reserved? Knowing where Venus is in your chart can bring out that answer, or can make it very clear to you. Venus, again, is also very, so much in charge of beauty. It's in charge of everything that's beautiful with life. So it also has to deal with decoration, art, your artistic learnings. What type of artistic values and gifts do you possess? Are you someone who likes to paint? Are you someone who likes to cook? Are you someone who likes music? Your attitude towards those things can be explained by Venus. And lastly, it's going to really give clues as far as your attitude towards money, personal possessions, your creative nature, again, because it is in charge of beauty and artistic learnings. Your creative nature comes from Venus as well. Your inspiration, what you see as beautiful, what you see as you're wanting to express, again, those emotions. That's why it goes hand in hand with art. It also, again, is basically just in charge of how you appreciate the beautiful things. So not just what is beautiful. How do you appreciate the beautiful things? Or do you even appreciate them at all? That can be explained by knowing where Venus is in your chart, okay? Now, that pretty much sums up the influences of Venus. Again, it's a planet of love and pleasure. How do you feel love? How do you express it? How do you see joy? How do you see beauty? And how do you express those parts of yourself? Again, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I do so thoroughly enjoy talking about this. A big inspiration to doing this series, again, is just watching my timeline and seeing so many people just boast about their sun signs. When I started studying astrology about 4 years ago, I think it's been now, I started studying it 4 or 5 years ago. I too was one of those people who was just walking around talking about their sun sign. I'm a Leo, so so some of you may already know how that can be as far as me going around boasting about it. But I mean, again, that's all of us. We are so much more than that. Your sun sign is really, it's your ego, it's who you want to be, and you're more than that. You have a moon sign, you have a rising sign, which is a sign that's rising on the horizon as you were born. You have signs that fall into how you earn money. You have signs that fall into the houses of, how you are educated, family, friends, enemies, the end of your life, your career. All of that can be explained in the science of astrology. And again, my hope is just that to shed light on these influences. We're starting off on the bottom layer. There's many layers to this, but I thoroughly enjoy going over these topics. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll link my social sites on my page and in the video. Feel free to send me an instant message or DM. Mars will be up next. And then again, at the end of the series, stay tuned. I have an announcement and I have a contest. Again, this is RED. Thank you so very much. Take care. Be safe. Light and love.